Manchester United can actually finish third this season, because at the moment under Michael Carrick it just seems like we're playing such good football and the mentality at Man United is back. And as a United fan, it's really, really positive to see, and I'm happy with it, because it's like the weekend we went 1-0 down against Palace, then we fought back to win the game 2-1 at home. And it just seems to be that there's a lot more fight and sort of pride about them now. So I think that's because Michael Carrick played in an era at Man United where pride was a massive factor and it was like a never say die attitude. So that sort of like fed into the players. And also another reason why it sort of could be working more for them is that we aren't playing European football. And if you look at Aston Villa, they're playing European football, and that could be a reason why Villa are dropping off, because they're having too many games and not as much time on the training ground to prepare and get the tactics in. Whereas Man United, we have now overtook Aston Villa, albeit on joint points for third, but we have got more time on the training pitch to get Michael Carrick's tactics into a squad, and we're having more time for recovery. So I'm pretty confident as a Man United fan we will at least get Champions League football, but also we will come third because we have more time to recover, like I've said. And the style of play Michael Carrick is getting, Carrick ball is on fire. We're unbeaten in 7. The performances are really, really good. And as well, even if we're not playing as good as we should be, we're still getting out results. And that is a massive factor where a club like Man United, we need to be going on these runs. So it's looking really, really good at the minute for Man United. I think they will finish third. But what's heating up as well is the title race. And this is really, really interesting now, because Arsenal have sort of let it slip over the past month. They dropped points to Brentford and Wolves, but they've recovered from that and gone on to win against Spurs and Chelsea in 2 big London derbies. However, it's not in their hands anymore, because if Man City win all their games, including the massive one against Arsenal in April at the Etihad, they win the league. Having said that though, if Arsenal go on a run unbeaten until the end, which I don't think they will, because they just don't seem to be playing as good. The players are making too many mistakes now, and City have hit a good run of form where with them, if they're not playing well, they're getting results, then Arsenal win the league. But I, deep down personally, it kills me to say it, but I think City will win the league, because the squad is just so good. And they sort of looks like they've hit a run of form now where they're getting results, they're going unbeaten, and it's a good time to hit this patch of form for them. And the game in April will be huge, because if City win it, they'll win the league. If Arsenal win it, then they'll probably win the league. So it just is completely down to the players' mentality. And I think with Man City, although it's a sort of new team, you've got the manager like Pep, and you've got experienced players in there like Ruben Diaz and Bernardo Silva, who are serial winners, and they've won everything there is to win, club football wise. So I think that will carry them over the line. But Arsenal, they've been in this situation for the past like 3 seasons now, so you would hope that they've learnt from it, and I want them to, but I just don't know. I don't want to use the word bottle, but I'm going to have to. I think they might bottle it again. But it just has to be this year for them, because everybody else has been really, really poor. Liverpool are down in 5th. Man United didn't start very well, but we've pulled it around. Go on. And Man City, they didn't start the season well, and they've only started to pick up their form as of late. So you just get the feeling that it's now or never for Arsenal, so they just can't afford to drop any more points. They've got to be laser focused on the target of winning the league. And also, will the Champions League factor in? Because what would they want to prioritise? If they want to prioritise the league, or do they want to prioritise the Champions League, which they have never won before? So that's interesting. You Arsenal fans watching this, what do you think to that? And talking about the Champions League, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with this. So this year, the Premier League has 6 teams in there, and I personally think that is way too many, because it's called the Champions League. If it's called the Champions League, you have to have the top 1 or 2 in a country, in my opinion, because then you've either won something where your league, or you've just narrowly missed out on it. But having 6 teams in there, it's like rewarding teams for just mediocre seasons. And if you look at Liverpool for this year, for example, they're defending champions in the Premier League. They're 5th, but it's like they'll still probably get Champions League. And I don't think that is good enough for teams to strive for. And also, I get it's cost of money and they won't change it back. But if you're going to do that, in my opinion, it should just be called the European Cup like it used to be. But because it's the Champions League, it should just be for the champions and second place. But it's not. It's for teams who are striving to just finish in the top 5 now, where it shouldn't be like that. You should want to win the league, so then you get a good reward for that. And also, the reason why I'm saying it should be 2 teams per league is this rule, where if you win the Europa League, you go into the Champions League. I think you either should get rid of that, because the gap between the Champions League teams and the Europa League team just is far, far too wide. And look at Spurs. They won the Europa League last year. They got into Champions League. They are now fighting relegation with 4 points off. They could go down. So it's like, you shouldn't be rewarding teams like that with a Champions League spot and in for a chance to win European football. So I personally just feel that it is wrong for teams to be rewarded for having mediocre seasons and not actually performing well. So what do you guys think of that? Do you agree with me, or do you think it should just stay the same and teams should get rewarded for mediocre performances in the league? And just a quick one to finish. IFAB, they are going to bring in a new 5-second rule for throw-ins and goal kicks. This is going to come into place from the World Cup onwards. And with the throw-ins bit, I agree with it, because a throw-in is supposed to be, you get the ball back in play really, really quickly, so it doesn't hold the play up as much like it is now, because it's like 40-50 seconds delay before the ball gets back into play. However, the goal kicks one, as a player, I personally don't agree with it, because say you are defending the entire game and you've just conceded a corner, they put it in the box and it goes out for a goal kick. You then have 5 seconds to put the ball down, get back into your position, get set up, and try and keep the ball, where you've been defending the whole game and you're not getting any respite whatsoever, and players are going to have to sprint 40-50 yards up the pitch to then get into their position, say they're a winger. But on the flip side of that, you could score more goals where teams are out of position, it's just one big ball up to the striker or whoever's up there, and it's a counter-attack. But it's whatever side you look at it. What do you think of that? I personally don't agree with it, but you fans could want it because it's more goals. And I get what it is. It's to try and stop and limit time wasting, but it could also lead to more simulation during the game, players faking injuries to get more tactics across and also more rest. So let me know what you guys think of all the topics I've spoke about today. Can Man United finish top 3? Will Arsenal win the league? Is the Champions League spots too many? And would you change that? And do you agree with this new 5-second rule? This will be all for today's video. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading as frequently. I've just been really, really busy. But as always, it would make my day a lot better if you guys subscribed and for better videos in the future. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.